And the news now, pro-Pakistani groups had gathered in London to protest outside the India House, but the police succeeded to restrict the protesters from creating any ruckus outside the house. Now, around 3,000 people had come out protesting with banners and chanting anti-India slogans in London. Heavy security arrangements have been made around the Indian embassy and barriers put up around the building. The protesters were allowed just 1 hour to protest on the streets of London, and the police managed to secure the area around. The Indian High Commission in London had issued a diplomatic note verbal seeking appropriate safety measures. The measure comes after clashes involving similar protesters have caused damage to India House on August 15th. London Mayor had condemned the protest and had written to the Home Office and the Metropolitan Police to act. On Thursday, Sadiq Khan wrote a letter to Naveen Shah, a British lawmaker of Indian origin. Shah has actively campaigned for a ban on the anti-India march. He has written both to the Home Secretary and the Mayor of London. In this letter, Sadiq Khan admits that the protesters could still breach the conditions and assemble at the Indian High Commission. The India House in London has already witnessed 2 violent protests this year. Both sides are unwilling to take a stand. The British lawmakers are just shifting responsibility. Such an escalation could potentially harm Britain's ties with India.
Well, in many ways, this can be seen as a security success. Police have put out top-level security on this protest. You can see the police behind me. It's only further down up the road on Parliament Square is that planned protest. There's probably around 3,000 to 4,000 people who have gathered for the protest. Now, the big worry was that the protest would head to India House, where there has been scenes of violence in the past. The level of security, though, provided by the Metropolitan Police has ensured that hasn't happened. We saw police on horseback. There are levels of police on each road to ensure that the protest remains contained and that India House doesn't have unnecessarily violence. That was the big worry. That's what the Mayor of London was worried about, as well as the Prime Minister Boris Johnson. But so far it has passed off peacefully. Mandy Clark, World is One, Wion, London.
Imagine having to barter cigarettes or even a bottle of water at a gas station to buy gasoline. No, that's not a line from a Mad Max movie or any other piece of fiction. It's all happening in Venezuela, where inflation has struck so hard the people are helpless and compelled to buy gas with food and other common items. Here's more on that.
This is Venezuela, where the economy is in such a shamble that drivers are now paying for fill-ups with a little food, candy bars, and even cigarettes. Bartering at the pump has taken off as hyperinflation makes Venezuela's currency, the bolivar, hard to find and so worthless that nobody accepts it. You can pay with a cigarette, says Orlando Molina, filling up his subcompact Ford in Caracas.
A lighter, I don't know, water, food, you can give it here and it is accepted without any cost or anything.
Service station attendant Orlando stacks the food and drinks on top of the pumps that he receives from drivers. He earns minimum wage, which amounts to a few dollars a month. The food helps to support his family.
It's not that you're going to become a millionaire or anything like that. This is not the idea. The idea is to help people because Venezuela is going through a situation that is too critical.
Venezuela, which sits atop the world's largest oil reserves, was once rich, believe it or not, but the economy has fallen into ruin. Today, the price of a gasoline tanker in the country is just 25 cents. Luis Vicente Leon, who heads a market research company in Caracas, says that gas is so dirt cheap that even the station attendants don't know the price.
They give anything to the gas station worker. It is really not even a barter. It is a gift, that is. You're giving the worker tips, much more than what you pay for gas. Because a tip equivalent to the value of gasoline, it is absolutely nothing. That gas station worker cannot do anything with that.
The International Monetary Fund says inflation is expected to hit a staggering 200,000%. This year, roughly 30 million people are gripped by a deepening political and economic crisis in this Southern American nation. Bureau Report, Wion, World is One.